I'm going to try to give you guys my impression of Seer and how I play him, or how I've seen others play him. Welcome to the Seer guide for the new Season 10. So Seer is a new legend. He's basically if Crypto had a baby with Bloodhound and... Nah, that's pretty much it. Seer is basically a recon character, if you will. Seer can scan beacons, but his main thing is he can see you through walls. So just to give a little breakdown of what I mean by this is there's sometimes he can see you through walls using his Q, like this. And then other times he can see you with a heartbeat sensor of his tactical, or excuse me, of his passive on his like the right click, which is like just ADSing in. These two things combined, especially your ult is basically a AoE giant circle of showing the enemy footsteps. And I'll explain a bit more about that. So just want to give you like a quick breakdown of like what his abilities do very, very quickly. But now I kind of want to get into like the ins and outs of the character. A lot of people I've been seeing that use their Q either will just send it out or they're not using it correctly. And the thing is you can almost always hit a Q, right? It's basically so I just want to explain something real quick. Let's say you're looking at a building, right? And you need to take that building. What you're going to do is you're going to right click. And then it's basically going to tell you if anyone's in that building, they're going to say bottom right, and you're going to lean over. Oh, it's right here, right? So you know that person's in this area. When it blinks yellow, that means you're on them. Like, you're on them. Like, you can't miss your Q at this point. If you're not on them, obviously, you want to get into the yellow range as much as possible. It's really, really difficult to miss. Now, the crazy part about Seer on his passive as well is when you go to take a building, if you think about Bloodhound would use a scan. And that scan has a pretty decent cooldown. But with Seer, you literally could just walk up and be like, yeah, someone's in the building. I'm not even on them yet. I'm not even on them. I could be up here. Look. I'm scanning a whole building. They could be on the first floor. Look at this shit. But I see them. So it's one of those things of like, you can scan an entire building and just by right-clicking the building and doing a quick circle, it will tell you where that player is if they're inside that building. And then this is where it kind of breaks down into my Q. So a lot of times when you're doing this, you're getting that yellow. You want to see the yellow as much as possible. The range on this thing is insane. I can actually hit all three like people right here. What lies behind that? All right, I missed. No. We're gonna do it again for sure. Hold on. Okay, so okay, so I hit all three. So the range is pretty far. It's really far. It's definitely insane for that range. I mean, I'm back here. I mean, if we take this direction goes to me. Opponent over there. That's about 94 meters, which is pretty nuts. I want to make this video. There might be some nerfs. We're going to include this in there. If there's going to be nerfs, I don't know if you guys want me to make a new video or anything like that. I think the overall idea of how to play the character stays the same. So there's two things with his ult. I'm going to give you as offensive, and I'm also going to give you on how to counter his ult. So the ult is a giant ring. Anybody that moves inside of this ring, it will tell you. So if I throw it down, it's going to pop up. There it is, right there, right? So it will let me know how many people are inside the ring at all times. However, if these people are moving, it would show the footsteps of the people moving inside of my ultimate ability. Now, there's two things. One, if it's an enemy Seer ult, what you can do is if you don't move, your feet don't pop up. Also, if you crouch, your feet don't pop up on the sensor. However, your name will always pop up as an enemy has entered the ult. So someone will know that you're in the ult, but no one will know that like where you're coming from because they can't see you because you're crouching. So there's sometimes if you're trying to make a quick play and they don't know where you are because they ulted, they have no idea, they just ulted to start the fight. If you crouch move, you actually can potentially make some outplay. Now, the thing with that ult is when you throw your ultimate ability, it shows footsteps. So what the important part of this is Seer's Q, if it hits you, it does 10 damage. It's a flashbang. It reveals the person for 8 seconds, like a Bloodhound scan. It shows the HP and armor of them as well. All kind of like simultaneously. Not only that, but it also interrupts. So if you're using your ultimate ability and you know someone's rezzing, you know someone's going to pop a battery, and let's say their footsteps run, they pop behind this, you can look and you can see where they're going. And then you can use your ult or not use your Q and then stop the battery, stop the res. Seer's Q has a lot that goes into it. Obviously keep an eye on the nerfs and buffs or whatever they decide to do to this character, and then kind of play it as you will. I personally think it's not going to change in terms of like how you play the character. Like if the range is short, if the flashbang isn't there, it doesn't matter. You're still going to do what you like. You're still going to play this specific way that I'm trying to explain. So basically it's one of those things, again, if they're popping a battery, try to save your Q if you don't need it, especially for the interrupts. And the main reason I'm going to say that is because let's say I'm beaming somebody, right? I have a gun. I'm shooting this guy, right? I'm shooting this guy down, right? He's hitting behind a wall. That guy's behind a wall. He's about to pop a battery. I can just be like, and I'm pushing, right? Either I knock him or I stop his battery and I'm already pushed up into him and I'm not allowing that person to heal. Your Q can be used as information or very, very aggressive. And I think a lot of people, you need to dictate when you want to use it. However, you need to understand that your Q holds much more importance than what you see kind of like a lot of people are doing nowadays. A lot of people are either starting the fight with the Q, which is totally fine. But if you already see the enemy, you don't necessarily need it. Like if you know they're full HP, if you know everything, like it's better off to save it. Because let's say you open up with a Q, you already see them, right? And then you beam them for 75, and then they're hiding behind a wall. You could have technically popped that battery or stopped the battery from being popped. Saving your Q, very, very important. I broke down what his Q does. If you're having trouble landing your Q, obviously, if the guy's yellow, use your Q right through a wall so you can see them. But the main thing is if you use your ult and you see the footsteps, then you can really hit your Qs very, very easily. Which is good. This character is, in my opinion, is S tier. This character is better than Bloodhound currently, just because of everything that this character does. There's just it's a better Bloodhound. It's a much better Bloodhound.